Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, happy Wednesday to you. April 3rd, it's Wednesday. Happy hump day. If you don't know what that means, I don't know what to tell you. Middle of the week for some. It's about 6:30 p.m. So I got some bad news. We experienced some shenanigans here at the farm. Big school bus full of older but non-wiser kids came here, had a big party, trashed the place, made a huge mess, didn't clean up after themselves, but didn't steal anything either. The house might be full of crap. This might be a very disgusting, unorganized garage right now, okay? I'm admitting that now before the comments fly, which I care, but I couldn't care about, as bad as that just sounded. This garage is the product of all winter long needing something, fixing it, and throwing it back on the table or desk there because it's so cold. That's going to be the excuse. There's a big facelift coming of this garage, including some possible revamping that we'll get into. But yes, I do know that the garage is unorganized and disgusting. Let me make that very clear. So, welcome to Spring Maintenance 2019. If you're used to watching One Lonely Farmer or Andrew Howergan with Farming, Fixing, Fabricating, you might as well just sign off now. You're not going to see anything too big. Kind of on a lower level here, but all is well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at a very, very important tool on this farm. This is the Brilliant Mulcher. This thing is worth its weight in gold. 2 years ago, I was having a conversation with a good older gentleman who is actually no longer with us. I was doing a lot of complaining about rocks. You know, we got a lot of rocky ground up here, and how you can't get rock pickers in the spring. I'm not going to tell you that there's still not kids out there that want to work. There's a lot of truth in that. My God, there is. But it's not that you can't find them around here. But nonetheless, it's hard. So I was doing some complaining. He's like, well, Ben, you need a mulcher. I'm like, well, explain it to me. What's the science behind it? Well, we went and looked at this one. This is his. 2 years ago, he ended up being gracious enough to borrow it to me to doctor up one of the fields. And he says, you know, test it out, see how you like it. If it's for you, if it fits, he goes, it's possible next year, maybe I'm willing to let it go. Because he was dwindling down. Understand, this man was nearing, hell, I think he was nearing 90 years old. And he was making hay just about till his last days. So, in fact, I know damn well I even made a YouTube video about it. It worked phenomenal. The following year, just last year, early spring, he comes to me and he offers me offers this piece of equipment for a ridiculously low price. I almost felt ashamed when I said, yes, I will take it. I think he was just happy to see it go to a good home. He knew it was going to be taken care of. I almost want to say he knew his days were about done, which you know, that's his business. I'm not here to talk about that stuff. And yeah, great purchase. This thing is unbelievable. Number one, the seed bed ground preparations that this thing leaves is second to none as far as I'm concerned. Number two, the lack of rocks needing to be picked, and we're talking softball and bigger, folks, it's basically cut it by at least 70%. Now, a lot of you right now are saying, well, okay, yeah, it pushes the rocks down, you know, it doesn't affect the planting. Well, soon enough, all these rocks are going to come up. Yeah, you're right. I believe in that too. And we're gonna find that out this year. There is a field that I'm hitting this year for the 3rd year in a row with the Mulcher, and we'll see what it looks like. It just does a phenomenal, phenomenal job. So anyway, I started off this year's maintenance, or screwing around, whatever the heck you want to call it. I ordered parts weeks ago. As you can see, I added only 6 new spring tooth drags, is what I call them. This is what came off. They're not too bad, but I added 6 nonetheless because it needs to be revamped every year, slowly but surely. The other thing that I did is I bought and added 10 new, what I'm going to call scrapers. This Mulcher puts down the cleanest ground you'd ever seen. I just love it. It's a 14-footer. It's a it's a hefty piece of equipment here. For the horsepower that's run here on this farm, it kicks the hell out of a tractor. I'm gonna tell you that right now. This thing is majorly heavy. There's a reason why it makes rocks disappear, because it punches them down in the ground so far. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. The other big concern I had a couple years ago, and even last year, was compaction. Is it that heavy? Which it is, folks. It is so heavy. Is it that heavy that it's going to affect crop growth because of all the compaction? Well, proof is in the pudding. Check last year's videos. Corn was great. Sorghum was great. Barley was not good, but that's just because of the year we had. Our oat crop actually was good. So this is just a win-win-win. It needs to be doctored up. It needs to be maintenanced every year. I do see next year adding about the same amount, maybe another 10, 12, 15 of these scrapers, because they go to hell quick. And maybe adding on another 6 or 10 of these spring tooth drags. Anyway, I went through it completely, everything, and I'm glad I did. I hit every nut and bolt with the impact. There was some loose. It just goes to prove you gotta take a look at everything in the spring, the best that you can. Anyway, there was even some cotter pins missing. That if the pin itself would have came out, we're talking disaster. So this thing has gone through with a fine-tooth comb. I'm basically almost done, with the exception of number 1. I do not understand this engineering feat whatsoever, but this don't cut it. This does not cut it. They're bent for a reason. You should have seen them last year. They're bent in half. It doesn't work. They don't line up. So I need to make a bar. I'm thinking at least probably a little less than 1/2-inch steel bar. The other thing I need to do is I went to town here today and I bought a jack, because this did not have one. Shame on me that I didn't put one on last year. It didn't come with one, but this jack is going to be put on as well. Now, and that's a weld on. I will admit, the one thing I never practiced or picked up or learned was welding. I'm a little ashamed of it. Now, I have a weekend warrior welder. I'm going to call it a 110 welder. At my man's garage, where Mom and Dad are, that's, I used to live there, folks. And I put up a man's garage fit for a prince. Trust me, maybe someday we need to go take a look at it. And I do have one of the weekend warrior little wire feed welders there. That ain't gonna cut it. So what I'm trying to say is we have a guy, very lucky. He's not even a mile away. He's made his entire life and living, and very well I may say, by being the local fix-it man fabricator. Very lucky. So this is gonna go to him either tomorrow night or Friday to simply weld on that jack, and he's going to fabricate me up a bar. So yeah, that's that. I think the other thing, if I want to do this right, which I want to, The other thing I need to do is there's a drag missing right here. Whether there was anyone there or not, it doesn't matter. One of them needs to be added here towards the very end. Now I've got some still suitable drags that I took off. I just need to order that this part here, and then as long as I'm doing that, I might as well do it correctly. I'll assume I'll get this. So yeah, this is the beginning. The other thing that got done here today, the reason the tractor is sitting here like this, which, you know, don't walk under it, this flap came tumbling off about a month and a half ago. This block, as I'm going to call it right here, which is made out of cast iron, which really surprises the hell out of me, broke and sheared right in half. So I ended up getting a new one of these in the bolts and put the flap back on. So what's next, we'll see. Kind of in the oil changing mood. The cab 6400 does not need an oil change. It's got very minimal hours that were put on it last year, which needs to change. That thing needs to work this year, and it's going to. With a full synthetic oil change from last year, I'm going to leave it alone. The open cab 6400, the oil needs to be changed in that. The 6420, and so on and so forth, which I have everything for that. Complete full servicings. What else we're going to talk about here today? Big day tomorrow, kind of, sort of. A planned day, we'll put it that way. We are making the calf pads tomorrow. Reason being is because of the weather. If I wait another week or two, it's just going to be a soupy, muddy mess out there. And I'd rather take my chances and blow out these calf pads now. And we'll see. Not to mention, we're going to start calving here in about a week and a half. So that very good man, my neighbor, and also the man that I bought those Red Angus from, I went and paid him a visit on Monday and kind of confirmed it, and he's happy as hell to come over tomorrow mid-morning. I've got 3 end cap bales that I went and collected here today. We're going to spread those out and make 3 calf pads is what I'm going to call them. Sounds a little California-ish, but whatever. No disrespect. I worked in the great state of California for a few years. All's well. That's all I'm saying. Okay, another big piece of news. I did go to town today. I had to pick up some parts and pieces, this, that, the other thing. We all got to do that here and there. I once again picked up just another small stack of 10 treated fence posts. That is to join the collection, what I already have, which I'm nearing about almost 50 of them. In fact, I guarantee I got 50. That's the goal for this year. I am starting a fence line program starting this year. From the time when it's a sufficient ground thaw and not beating up the ground with the tractor tires to spring workup. I'm going to have to say there's a great 2-week opportunity in there to put a whole bunch of posts in the ground. That being said, when I was over at that good man's place on Monday, we're sitting there BSing. The corner of my eye, I see the most beautiful, biggest hydraulic post pounder. Now, if you watch how farms work, you've probably seen, which I'm a huge fan of how farms work. You've probably seen that. I want to say it's a, what do they got, a shaver or something like that? I want to say the name on this pounder is a, if memory serves me right, I think it's a weaver. So while we're BSing, I caught that at the corner of my eye. I go, Gary, what the hell is this? And he goes, oh, you like that, huh? And it's the kind of guy he is. Everybody needs to meet this gentleman. He's pretty standoffish, though. I don't even know if he'll let me record tomorrow's building the calf pads, to be honest with you. I'm going to leave that alone. So anyway, we had a great conversation. I don't like borrowing things, but it's just sitting there. I go, Gary, what's your plan for this thing this year? He's like, I need to put in about 3 or 4 posts. I'm like, well, I need to put in 50. I go, can I rent it from you? And of course, him being who he is, no, you can't rent it from me, but you can borrow it. So, yeah, between borrowing that pounder, which is awesome, that's gonna, I think I'm more excited for that than anything. And then of course he's gonna help out with, he's gonna bring his hay buster and build those pads tomorrow. We kind of made an agreement, a good gentleman's agreement, which this world is starting to forget about. We're gonna trade a little labor and equipment time. This year he's in severe need of a little bit of help when it comes to doing some raking and whatnot, and a good gentleman's handshake agreement on that. I'm looking really forward to it. Tomorrow after lunch, we are transferring the 5 heifers that have been living life to the fullest inside the barn all winter. Those 5 heifers are going to be kicked out into the heifer lot so they can become acclimated for at least the next 2 weeks, 17, 18 days, before the entire group gets kicked into the cow lot, to the cow herd. Yeah. Stop, catch my breath there for a minute. Other than that, folks, that's about it. Dad and I talked here the other day. We're extremely confident that late next week, the corn silage is going to be opened up and start to be fed. Way up on that hill. We did a video not long ago. You guys know where I'm talking about. And yeah, it's just kind of that time of year. You can probably hear the wind chimes behind me. It's kind of breezy. We continue to have pretty good weather that's coming to an end. It was colder than dog snot here this morning. You know, kind of, sort of. It was low 20s, high teens. Tomorrow is the end of it, though. Tonight we're getting a really nice freeze down. I want to say it's going to get about 17, which is why we're doing these calf pads. Because after this, starting this weekend, we're looking at 50, 60 degree weather. So this beauty is over. It's about to become muck city around here, which is all right. It has to happen. Let's get it over with and get it done. That's about it. There's something else I want to talk about here, but we're going to save it for a video tomorrow. Most of you probably already clicked off, which I don't blame you. I would have as well. But we're going to catch up tomorrow, one way or another. Maybe having that hay buster, building some calf pads, and taking a look at the heifers after we transfer them, and kind of go from there. All right, folks, I'm going on 18 minutes of here. That's unacceptable. And I got to get going, finish a few things up here, and I got to sit down to some paperwork tonight. So anyway, everybody have a nice evening. We're going to talk to you sooner and later.